Hi, this is B from Sorcery Soap. Today I'd like to show you how to use some stencils again. I have lots of videos on stencils, but this is a very specific technique to show what appears to be a black line. It's sort of an illusion. So this is a soap stencil. These little gnomes are on the website on sorcerysoap.com. This one's gnome right, and it says it's etched in the corner here, and it says Sorcery Soap, which is pretty cool. So this soap bar is an excellent soap bar. It just has some blemishes in it, and it's not very attractive. So I'm going to try and do my best to make it pretty, fun, at least fun to use, and like that somebody would want to have, right? Anyway, so here's an extruder. There's lots of information about extruders. I've been using them for a long time. This is aluminum. These discs are aluminum. So I saw a question the other day in one of the soap making groups, and the question was that you're not supposed to use aluminum with soap. That's kind of false. You're not supposed to use aluminum with soap that's not fully saponified. Soap dough is fully saponified. It's just soap. It's like saying you're not supposed to set this bar of soap on aluminum foil, like it'll have a reaction. If your soap is having a reaction to aluminum foil at this stage, it's probably not correct. Regular soap bars, fully saponified. So when saponification means when you take sodium hydroxide, water to activate it, and mix it with fats and oils, it turns into a completely new substance called soap. It's no longer sodium hydroxide and oils. It's not separate like that anymore. Now it's called soap. And historians of ancient scientists used the soap making process to discover a lot of interesting things, which I learned about from a book called Caveman to Chemistry. And it's a pretty good book. I learned a lot of things about science and chemistry and the history of, and a word called phlogiston, which I think is awesome. Anyway, so yeah, not to get off track, but yeah, so I'm going to make this soap bar hopefully look a little prettier. And soap dough is fully saponified. It's just soft and pliable. It hasn't been given an opportunity to cure, which means have all the water evaporate from it, and so it's still really smooth. It's like the structure is not hard like this. Like this structure is hard. The structure of soap dough is still pliable. So anyway, make sure here. So I'm gonna walk through a bunch of stuff. The reason I put it in an extruder in order to use it with stencils is because it gives me just about the right amount, and then I don't have to worry about wrapping it up. So with this soap bar, or with this soap stencil, I want to go from this way because we have a line right in the center, and if I go this way, I'm going to push all that soap dough underneath that line, and I want it to be pretty clean. So we'll secure that first. And you can see I just moved it ever so slightly, I think. Hopefully I moved the whole bar, not the stencil, but we'll see. And if I wanted to, I could take this up and scrape all this off right now. So right now it's pretty pliable, and what I'd like to do now is put just a little bit of water on it to soften it even more. And then I'm going to take a palette knife and scrape it off. Hopefully I didn't move my stencil around, it was just my soap bar. It's hard to say yet, but we'll see. I can always scrape it off once I'm done doing this. Okay, so where's my little dealie? Okay. So what I want to make sure in order to get the clean edges is to make sure that the soap dough is thick enough in the center, but thin enough on the edge. And I know it's kind of tricky, but when you pay attention to it, it comes off really nice. It comes off, like the whole process comes off and gives a nice effect. So now I'm going to just dip my finger in water and then smooth this out. Just a little bit of water. You can see that it's not drippy or anything like that. And now, before I lift this off, I'm going to put some mica on here. I like this burnished look to it. So I'm going to try and lift it off without spraying alcohol. Now you can spray alcohol, but then it's going to change the effect of this on the soap dough. Now the soap dough will absorb that mica pretty nicely, and I like that burnished look. So let's see if we can do it. If not, I can start over. And then you take it off really slowly. And there you go. So you can see that it appears like it's pretty shimmery. It appears there's a black line around it, and that's because we use the black soap dough, and it sort of gives a black layer effect. And then whatever mica you put on top shows the color of, you know, the mica, obviously, but it's pretty cool. And then you have to leave these cure. So you think about that. That's a really thin layer of soap dough. You have to let that cure for, you know, a couple days. I usually leave it for about a week to make sure, because this bar is fully cured. But this needs to cure on top of it, and then you can wrap it. Otherwise, you take a chance of smearing it or whatever. So we could do this again if you like. Okay. That one was, this pink color here is called Flower Girl. And we have soap dough like that on the website right now. And this is called Cabaret. Obviously I've already done it on this side. I'll use the other side. But you can see how hard it is right now. Now this is going to wash off. And sometimes they wash off, like it'll take a while for them to wash off. Depends on how thick and how long it's been cured. So sometimes like the mica will wash off the first time you use it, but the soap dough will stay on there depending, again, how long it's been cured and how thick the soap is. So it doesn't go all the way through, but it also offers you, me, whatever, an opportunity to utilize bars that maybe weren't quite so attractive, or if you just want to make soap and you want to take your time to decorate them, because I know for me, sometimes I don't always like to think the whole process through of making embeds and putting them in and designing the whole soap. It is a huge amount of work, and to say that stenciling is on par to embeds is a disservice to how much work goes into the embeds. And stenciling is still very fun and unique and can offer, you know, another idea about soap to, you know, to theme your soap so that you're not just sort of stuck with a bar of soap that you don't really like. Anyway, let's move on. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel. Have a great day and happy holidays.